Okay, let's go over the RX tab. So that's the second one here under Workbench. And on this tab, we can essentially start a prescription from scratch. Or of course, I showed how in the Workbench or the facts list, you can jump into prescriptions and it'll actually take you to this screen. So I think the best way for me to show this tab is to show how to create a prescription from scratch on it. So I'll show a few things. One, we have a prescription, like a blank template here. We can do no RX image, a verbal RX. We can create from a file. So that's if we have like the prescription image on our computer. We can create from facts. That's going to open up a little window here, which is basically just a minimized version of the facts list anyway. And we can select a prescription here and click add, and that will just add it. You can see this one just says test facts. We can hold the control button and use the scroll wheel to zoom in or zoom out. And we can, of course, create a queue, clear the screen, save the prescription in progress, refresh it, or put it in trouble. We have clarification requests or using the same image for the patient and prescriber for a new RX if we wanted to start another one. We also have the option to scan a image in if we have a scanner connected. And that's basically how it works if we were doing it straight from here. I'm going to show it from the facts list just because it makes sense for most people. So I'm going to actually fill a prescription from start to finish just so you can see exactly how that works. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go to the facts list and let's pretend I just got one coming in, and we'll choose this one. So I mentioned this before in the facts list video. I have a bunch of scripts in progress for this image. Normally that probably wouldn't happen for you, but it's thinking I'm making a bunch of duplicates. That's fine. I'm going to ignore that. I'm going to click create prescription. So I'm just going to go ahead and create. It's going to take me to this tab, and normally it won't find the patient and doctor for you. It did that because I have so many in progress scripts for this image already, but let's pretend we're filling the prescription like this. So we have just the image on the right, and we have the options on the left here. We can actually move this image screen to the left if you prefer it. It's in the settings, but you can also just ask someone to help you with that. So let's actually just fill this prescription. So we can zoom in, obviously, like I said, hold control, and we can scroll, and I can see the patient name. So I'm going to search them. We can find them here. And then immediately we're going to see their history now of their drugs. The yellow here means in progress. It means that we've started something, but we didn't finish it. Everything else means it's done. This is past verification. This is like a finished prescription or expanded service. So, or even in this case, this was like a minor ailment assessment. So we can see everything here, and we can copy, view, or hide canceled as a filter. So this would be if we wanted to copy and essentially create a duplicate of that prescription. We have some options there to ask us if we want to like overwrite it or create a new one from the copy, but I'm not going to show that in this video just because I want to show you how to do it from scratch. So in this case, like we can see the drugs here. I'm just going to do the Alnaris one for fun so we can search it. It's going to come up. We can search mixtures here as well if we're doing a compound. And then once the drug loads in, it's telling me that, hey, you already have some for this patient. Is that okay? I'm just going to say delete them and continue. I don't care. I'm going to start from fresh here. So now you can already see that once the drug card's loaded, we have a few things going on here. So we have like all these details at a glance, and I can actually click the drug to go into the drug card. And earlier when we added the patient too, we can edit the patient details. So we can actually go ahead and make edits to their plans. I'll show more of this in the actual patients video just because I'll show you how to create a patient from scratch, but we can edit plans here. And then the prescriber. So we can go ahead and search the prescriber here. And then that's that part done. So that's all loaded in. And now we're into the actual quantity and the directions. So we can just obviously look at the prescription, 2 sprays each nostril, QHS. The code shortcuts should work for SIGs, so you can just actually put a code in and press space, it should load. But in this case, it's like we do a quantity. We can see the pack size. So the pack in this is 120, so it's 120 sprays. And then we have a day's supply. I'm assuming it's about 30, and we get we're doing 4 sprays, so that makes sense. And then we can just, in this case, like I think if we do that, yeah, nightly at bedtime, and then we could put like that. So this would be like we have the prescription pretty much done now. We have some options here. This is a extended SIG option. If you're doing a really long set of directions and you need a separate label to print the rest of them, we can click that and actually type in there. The convert language option, this is going to let us convert it to other languages. We can do a preview of that, and then we can either add it as a second language or just apply a direct translation. And I'm not going to do that for the sake of this demo, but this is it. And then we're going to click continue. So the cool thing about Box is you can actually edit the patient details at any point in time during the prescription process. So we're on the screen right here. I can click one-click submit all, and that's just going to go down the list. So in this case, nothing's going to fail. But let's say something did fail. We get one of our, let's say we had like 5 plans that we're running through, and one of them fails. And it shouldn't fail. So what we can do is we can maybe check the patient's information. Maybe something changed, you know, oh, maybe their client ID changed. That's fine. We can click edit patient information. We can scroll down, and I briefly showed you this before. We can see the plans here. We can adjust the hierarchy of the plans. ONMS should always be at the top, but we can change them around, but you should keep ONNMS at the top. So we can change the client ID here, for example, and then click save. And so that's a good way, like, okay, the prescription fails, but we need to make a change. We can do that, save it, and then try it again. So we could just, in this case, they all succeeded, but you would see the one that failed. You could try to submit it again, or you could just click one-click reverse all, one-click submit all, try it again, and see if everything goes through. So on this page, you have some options here. Third-party contact, that's going to pull up any numbers for your third parties, so you can see them there. Payment history, that's going to show the previous times that they got this drug and what they paid. So you're able to see like, okay, every time they paid $11.59 for this, let's see if that looks about the same now. It does. And then you can apply discounts here if you wanted to, like waiving a fee, for example. Now, by default, the receipt label's checked off. We can uncheck that if we wanted to, click submit. And then once we do that, it's going to jump us into the packaging stage. So at any point, if we stop what we're doing, so you can see the green check mark, this has been saved. We're past this stage. We have the manual save button, of course. At any point, I could have clicked that and it would have saved the script. Now, I'm on the packaging stage now. If I left it here, it's going to show up on our workbench tab under packaging. And that's where it is right now. So it would be under here. And I could jump back into that. So I could see, like, if I wanted to go back into that patient profile too, I can see the script that I was working on down here in packaging, and I can click go. It's telling me I need to sign it. That's fine. So we're on the packaging stage. You don't really need to pay attention to what I just did. I was just trying to show that it can go to the workbench even if I just left it here. I don't have to, if my job's not to package the prescription and all I'm doing is adjudication, I could just go ahead and clear the screen and start a new script, and that's been saved for the next person to work on in packaging. So on the packaging stage, we have some options here. So normally there could be a photo available if RxVigilance has the photo. In this case, it doesn't. That's okay. We can scan the QR code or the UPC for the bottle or the box for the drug, and it's going to verify it for us. And if we scan the QR code, it's actually going to populate the lot number and expiry for us, which is really cool. We also have a bypass option and the product monograph and the patient leaflet also here. So if I click bypass, it's just going to ask me a reason. I can make my own reason. I'm just going to say I'm going to say custom drug, even though it's not. It's all great. We can just click whatever we want. So product monograph, patient leaflet, rescan, those are options there. Rescan, really, it's not going to take it out of packaging if you go and scan the wrong thing. This is more just if someone just wants to double check. You have the option, you could double check it again. If I go in and out, it's still going to be considered verified, so we're not like essentially backtracking that. So on the we have an audit trail button too, so you can view previous steps. So it's telling me I skipped packaging at this time, and we have the verification tab. So on the verification tab, you're going to see any level 1 to 3 interactions pop up here, and you'll see interaction details. If I click that, it's going to open RxVigilance and give me the breakdown in the module. And I can also add notes. So I could say like, I want to alert at POS for a specific reason. And then when we scan that prescription in later at POS, it's going to alert the user. So yeah, we have a few options here. We can also print the scripts before we verify. Like once we click it, it'll auto print them. And the way it works is it's just a digital verification. So we say that we've verified the drug-to-drug interactions, and we're just going to click the verify button. Okay, so for this one, it canceled it automatically because I'd set it to skip for this demo. But in this case, normally this would be left unchecked, and you have two options. So it's going to jump you back to the workbench automatically, and we could leave it there. And if we leave it, it's going to prompt them at the point of sale to actually cancel that patient. But if we wanted to do it from the tab we were just on, I can go back, and you'll see on the counseling tab, you're going to have a few options. By default, it's going to say counseling accepted yes, in person, agent type is the patient. We can change all that. We can put that we've confirmed counseling, and we can add notes if we want to, or we can do an extended questionnaire. The extended questionnaire is just going to ask us some additional questions, which we can answer details for, and then we can save it. So when you counsel it, it's just going to say that you finished counseling it, and you'll have a record of the times you counseled. So I can view the details, or I can make an edit. It's almost like it's not so much an edit, it kind of just replaces the old one with a newer version. So you can see if I was to edit it and click update, it's going to show me modified, view the most recent. So it's telling me like that this one's not really applicable anymore. You should be checking this one. This is just if you made a mistake, really. So now that the prescription is complete, we can still always see it. So we can go to the patient profile, which again, I'm going to show more of this in the patient profile video, but I can see the prescription right there. It's that one. I can click it. I can go into it at any time, even later. No matter how long it's been, I can check that prescription. I can go to attachments. I could attach things to it. I can go to MISC. I can print labels and receipts, hard copies, view the RX chain, the audit trail, or go to the parent prescription if it's from a parent RX. And then we can go to notes here and add a note if we wanted to as well. So these are all options that we have for an existing finished prescription. So that was pretty much just a walkthrough how to do it from start to finish. And of course, like if you need to reprint your labels, maybe your printers were off or something, you can always just do it from the screen even later. It's always there. You can always view the adjudication details, and you can also copy or refill. So you have these options always here, even when the prescription is done. And that's it.